semester. So hopefully we'll have
screenshots or anything that we can do to show it off would be great.
Yep.
Any photos? Anybody take any pictures last year?
We had a couple. I don't think we have a whole lot, but we have a few of like people unconscious.
This year, if Kyle or anybody else, like I'll try to show up at least once. I got Chip's class on Saturday.
I don't think you do anymore.
What Chip's class?
I think there was a posting that said it was canceled.
Not on the 16th.
But this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
It is from
But anyway, no.
My frazzled from yesterday.
My point is that we need to be aware of the things that we're doing and take pictures of them and think about sound and video and that kind of stuff, because we're going to repurpose. You mentioned mixing things up and having some fun with stuff. I'd like to post our stuff out there and let people view it. Kids from Collin County, kids from elsewhere in the area have a place to go. They can see our work, see what you guys are working on, and the media can get involved in it. They can see the stills and screenshots and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem.
No, that's something we should like bring in the community more. But with the game dev, I thought that was pretty exciting last time, is that we used mocap or motion capture. The Atec department has their own motion capture facilities, and so we got to take advantage of that and
fight for that too.
Yes. Yeah. and put that into the game dev. And will we be using motion capture this time?
That's my hope. Motion capture to me is the easiest way to get realistic motion. I mean, in the end, it's obviously dictated by what the game design is, but I'm hoping we kind of stick with the same formula so that we're not kind of reinventing some wheels. Now we had some technical issues the first time we did it, so it was a little harder to kind of get it completed. But I think this time around, I mean, most of our technical hurdles are out of the way, and it's just a matter of really just getting the grunt work done and getting all the pretty stuff put in there. So hopefully we'll stick with what worked, which was motion capture. We had so many motions, like nice, beautiful, realistic motions done in like no time flat. So I think it's a really simple, and we have a lot of experience, talented students here doing some motion capture. So.
Well, what's some of the software stuff that we'll be expected to be using in the game dev weekend?
So most of the modeling's in Maya. That's what we teach here, and obviously Photoshop for some texture work.
Pixel pushing.
Yeah, the pixel pushing.
Yeah, the
all
pixel
those
pushers.
pixel pushers out there.
So
Yeah,
you're no longer texture artists, you're pixel pushers. So.
Just that would pay you less if your title's worse. We have the motion capture system is by Vicon, so there's all their software for the capturing, the processing, motion builder, and then you bring it into Maya and apply it to the actual models. Doom, obviously.
Well, okay, tell us about Doom. Well,
Okay.
How did that go about us getting Doom? What version? Doom 3?
So it's Doom 3.
You're talking about the engine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Explain to some people what an engine is.
Why don't you just explain the world, Steve? Go ahead, just go on.
Start from the beginning.
Well, there's some people who when I explain to them what we'll be using an engine, and they're like, "What do you mean an engine?" They don't understand the term engine.
Well, I think I can take this one.
Yes.
Last semester when we did Game Dev Weekend, we used Doom 3, which is a retail game that's already out there, and it was developed by id Software, which is actually a Dallas-based company.
Right.
And what we did was we took the actual rendering code, which is basically the program that interprets the models, the gameplay functionality that everyone wants, and puts it all together into a gameplay format. Basically, it is a means to an end for whatever we put together, and that way it saves us a lot of time, because with taking an engine that already exists, we're able to minimize our production time, because we don't have to worry about system requirements, we don't have to worry about writing a program from scratch. We take something that already exists and we can plug in new media to it.
I represent the uninitiated, as far as, I'm not the hardcore gamer. When we did Far Futures that time, I know I got in trouble a few times for asking dumb questions. But I figured out that the whole, the engine is the thing that's underlying it all, and that it gives you the opportunity to get started quicker and do more faster.
Right.
If you've got an engine, because I know that you guys, one of them was looking at what, 3, 4, 5 different types of engines.
Yeah.
So do the game companies actually sell their engines as another piece of profit for them?
Yeah.
So you get
Yeah.
to know Doom engine or
Yeah, I
some
mean,
other
that's a huge part of it is for a company. I mean, partly it's selling and licensing the technology to other companies, but it's also partly the fan base. You know, probably the best example of an engine still being around well past its time is the Source engine, or the original Half-Life engine. There was this amazingly popular mod made for it called Counter-Strike, and even 5 years, 6 years after the game was done with its heyday,
life.
it's still around. I mean, even today, people still play the original Counter-Strike in favor of the newer version that's come out with Half-Life 2. And it's like that type of devotion. If you can keep that around, I mean, you're still making money off of it. They're still selling Half-Life 1, and I think that's just the insanity that a game that's like 8 years old or so
Right.
is still selling.
Do you guys like the Doom engine? I've heard that talked about quite a bit. Or do you have choices of engines you could use? You just chose Doom.
Well, part of it is we teach it here, so
Right.
that helps. So we have,
Yeah.
but the reason why we teach it is I personally find it to be a very simple engine to kind of get in and start mucking around with. It's very open, so you can write your own tools for it. In fact, we've done some tool writing to help the process going between Maya and Doom a lot easier.
Do you want to throw him a bone?
Oh yeah, Chris Edwards is an amazing script writer and has done like a whole bunch of scripts for us to help us do that. I'll I guess pass his link on, but at zbufferstudios.com, amazing stuff. And so it's really simple, really extensible. It has a pretty nice visual representation. It's not like the best visuals out on the market, but it's still pretty competitive, and you can do a lot with it. And as the technology has grown, I mean, the engine they use for Doom 3 is essentially the same engine they use for Quake 4 and Prey and soon Enemy Territories with like some major modifications, but it's still the same engine. So it's not dead, it keeps evolving. And that's the way most companies work it, they keep evolving their engine. But then they also sell it to other companies to make their games.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, ultimately, we'll have hopefully lots of different types of people listening and watching the show. So I think it would be kind of interesting for the ones who aren't or are just starting into the game world to actually see that in action sometime.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just something to think about. I don't know if you would want to tape some of that this weekend or the coming weekend, but if not, I mean, it's just a future show. I'd love to see how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fascinating process.
Yeah.
Long, but fascinating.
We could set up a live stream in Second Life and then just see people just start passing out.
Well,
Someone wears
hour
a
24.
motion capture dot and represents their character walking around.
I don't know if you, I mean, in the experiences I've had with some of the students, the younger students, they get involved and they want to do gaming or they want to do this or that, but they really don't know all of what that entails.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so they're at the level of, okay, I can do Photoshop or I can do a web page, and then they want to get involved in gaming, and I'm trying to find out how much they know or where they can go, either in design or the writing aspect of it or the 2D and 3D work, and that's my experience. Is they're all pretty young and they don't really know all of what it takes, and what it takes is a lot of work.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I mean, you just have to be willing to work, regardless of what your skills are. I mean, your skills can come along, but if you're not willing to work, it's going to be a very difficult process for you to actually make it in the industry.
But you're saying like willing to work those long, crazy hours, or you're
Yes.
willing to push your limits of knowledge? And,
Yes.
Because gaming doesn't stand still.
No, and that's the thing. You're always growing. You're always learning new things, and on top of that, they also make you work 60, 70 hours a week, for a month or 2 months or 6 months, depending on what company you work for. Some of the companies try to write it into their contract that says that you have to do it and you don't get paid extra, and that's just part of how it works.
Right.
And you have to be willing to do that. But you also have to be constantly learning. You can't stop. It's like you said, it's a slippery slope, and it's always changing on.
Well, and I would, I've heard Tom talk about this, that gaming is evolving into beyond just the entertainment that we're aware of, the race games or the shooting games.